Malaysia and Taiwan Tzu Chi volunteers and members of the public celebrate the 48th anniversary of Tzu Chi by making a pilgrimage. Jordan Tzu Chi volunteers hold a distribution for Bedouins and Syrian families in Zatari. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. Over the last few days, Dharma masters of the Jingsi abode have been busy making longevity buns, a traditional Chinese snack to celebrate Tzu Chi's 48th anniversary on April 23rd. This time, they were joined by a crew of professional bakers from Kaohsiung.
Fresh out the steamer, each longevity bun looks soft and white. Imitating the soft pink skin of peaches, the coloring not only adds to the auspiciousness of the treats, but also contains the blessings of the Jingsi abode. Over the past 5 years, Fang Han-Wu has never missed an opportunity to help out. Initially just helping where he could, Fang now oversees the entire process.
I see
the look on people's faces when they test the longevity bun. It's as if they have received our blessings, and that makes me happy.
Hoping to share this blessing with everyone, for the past 10 days, Fang and his team have been working around the clock at the abode. Among the team is also world champion baker Wu Baochun, who humbly set aside his fame to help out and experience firsthand Tzu Chi's humanitarian spirit.
I identify with the ideals of Master Zheng Yan, so it's great to volunteer here today. It's as if we are sending our love to everyone.
Blessing is experiencing joy through action. The same can be said about baker Huang Changyu. 2 years ago, when Huang first participated in the making of the buns, he was moved by the way of life at the Jingsi abode. That further inspired Huang, who is a Catholic, to join the volunteer training program and become a certified Tzu Chi volunteer.
I'm an entrepreneur, so I often feel like I have a full plate, having to take care of my family, work, and mission in life. But I'm content despite that. I feel that it's only through physically doing and getting involved can one truly understand that joy.
Whether it is cakes or longevity buns, each has been handmade by the volunteers. Through their hands, they hope to send their love and warmth to the hearts and stomachs of all.
To celebrate Tzu Chi's 48th anniversary, volunteers in Malaysia's Penang organized a pilgrimage at their local Jingsi hall, at which close to 1,000 volunteers and members of the public showed their sincere piety by chanting the Buddha's name. But first, let's join Dharma masters at the Jingsi abode in Hualien, Taiwan, as they led a pilgrimage and sincerely prayed for a world free of disaster.
Reciting the Buddha's name with utmost sincerity, 745 disciples under the leadership of Jingsi abode Dharma masters start off on their pilgrimage. Even 79-year-old Yu Jinzhi, who has difficulty walking, sees the opportunity to take part.
To say it's not tiring would be a lie. I'm tired, but in a good way. I prayed for world peace and for everyone around the world to be safe.
Praying for a world of peace and harmony, Xiamen Tzu Chi care recipient Chen Tuanzhi's mother was also among the procession. Apart from praying for blessings for her daughter, she chose to express her gratitude through action.
It's my first time participating in a pilgrimage. It moves me to see so many people here. I'm so grateful to the Master for being so kind to my daughter and me.
On the eve of Tzu Chi's 48th anniversary, as the pilgrimage proceeds, each step is taken with joy and reverence, and each step brings participants closer to the Buddha's heart.
当你们开始起步的第一步，都已经虔诚，应该呢都是步步虔诚，那这秒秒都在虔诚中。 所以虔诚呢，最能感人啊！修行就是这样，开始起步一念心，花心如初，成佛有余。
For the last 48 years, Master Zheng Yan has remained steadfast to her initial aspiration, which is to work for Buddhism and for all beings, while Tzu Chi volunteers have remained committed to cultivating the Buddhist spirit and carrying out the Master's mission. sweeping away the dust, washing the floorboards, and putting on place markers to usher in Tzu Chi's 48th anniversary. Penang Tzu Chi volunteers are finalizing preparations for the pilgrimage the following day. At 5:30, the first rays of the sun can be seen in the horizon. 1,000 volunteers and community residents recite the Buddha's name and reverently prostrate with every 3 steps they take. Among the procession is 61-year-old Li Yuezhu, who despite suffering from peripheral vertigo, has never missed an opportunity to attend over the past 6 years.
When I first agreed to take part, I was a little scared because I have peripheral vertigo. So if my movements are too big, I will start to feel dizzy. I am so grateful that I accomplished this pilgrimage. It's been great.
I woke up very early this morning. My heart is filled with Dharma joy, so I don't feel tired at all. I think this is an event I will take part in every year.
The solemnness of the ceremony couldn't have been achieved without a heart of sincerity. Some conquered physical obstacles to complete the pilgrimage, while others persisted with a determined mind.
I think my physical condition was better than last time. At least I didn't feel dizzy today. I was able to finish the pilgrimage.
I don't feel tired. I just concentrated on reciting the Buddha's name. I was focused on the chanting from beginning till end, so I don't feel tired at all.
Although everyone's clothes are drenched in sweat, a pure stream of Dharma has washed away everyone's inner afflictions and worries.
After Typhoon Kensana struck the Philippines in 2009, Tzu Chi volunteers organized cash reward programs to help Marikina citizens clean up their homes. Several typhoon survivors, therefore, were inspired to join Tzu Chi's ranks. To provide these local volunteers a safer living environment from frequent flooding, the Tzu Chi Philippines chapter helped 3 families rebuild their dilapidated homes.
This makeshift house belongs to local volunteer Jovito Mancera. With the assistance of the Tzu Chi Philippines chapter, the house will undergo a major makeover. Workers remove the wooden structure and replace it with concrete and bricks, giving Jovito a sturdier place to call home.
I will not forget today. It's like a rebirth. I think I will have a good night's sleep from now on. My family can also live in a safer place.
Marikina City was hard struck by Typhoon Kensana in 2009. Tzu Chi's Catch for Work program back then inspired numerous disaster survivors to join as volunteers. Among the new recruits like Jovito is Angelita Villanueva, who never thought Tzu Chi would help build a new house for her and her family.
I will do my best to do Tzu Chi's volunteer work as a way to reciprocate those who helped us before.
Yung konti doon sa kakayahan ko para kung ano yung tulong na naibaba nila sa akin, makatulong din naman ako in return sa abot ng kaya.
Angelita's renovation project began last September, though the progress was slightly affected by Typhoon Haiyan. It was completed in March this year. The new house is fully equipped with a kitchen and bathroom, providing Angelita and her children a comfortable living environment.
In Taiwan, not only is illegal dumping of toxic industrial waste a problem for both the environment and citizens, but now waste that passes heavy metal leaching tests can legally be used in construction projects. Environmental activists believe this waste, all of which contains heavy metals and dioxins, should not be used, for they can contaminate our food and water supply. Here's more in our report.
This is a piece of rock we just picked up here. It looks very much like a meteor. In fact, many people often think, wow, I found a meteor. Little do they know that this is actually waste from a steel refinery.
On a section of Route 17 that travels through Pingdong's Lingbian, one finds a barren landscape that resembles an alien planet.
At industrial waste dump sites, rocks that resemble round chocolate balls are found. They are actually extremely toxic flue dust and often end up in the home of unknown citizens.
Once I ran into a man who comes by here to fish. He thought these flue dust balls resembled marbles and would be fun to play with. So he picked several of them to give to his children. However, if you touch these things and don't wash your hands before you eat, you end up ingesting the toxins.
Just how poisonous is the stuff?
This is a handheld heavy metal analyzer. Just press down and 3 minutes later, you will know what's in here. Look here, the zinc level is over 200,000 ppm. See all these red numbers? In a normal environment, the level should be just about 100 to 200 ppm. So this way, we know for sure these readings are way off the chart.
What is worse is that these poisonous materials are even dumped into farmlands.
This used to be a rice field, however it was filled with nearly 10,000 tons of ash from an incinerator. There are 5 different kinds of heavy metals in here, all of which far exceed the limits allowed by regulations.
The contamination reaches into farmlands from refineries. Now with the new Recycling Act, some can even become construction material and become a part of our lives.
Now the government has allowed for slag from incinerators to be used in public construction projects, such as fillings for road foundations, to allow these residues that should have been properly treated, which contain heavy metals and dioxins, to become a part of public infrastructure, will cause contamination to nearby underground water and soil.
Some slag has a high thermal expansion coefficient, such as those from a basic oxygen furnace, which can expand 3-fold but immediately become brittle upon contact with water.
The new law states that as long as industrial waste passes lab tests, it can become a substitute for gravel and sand in construction projects. At Zhanghua Coastal Industrial Park, slag and flue dust are being dumped into the sea legally as a part of a 230-hectare land reclamation project.
By burying these things that contain mercury, dioxin, and heavy metals, they will contaminate underground water and affect the sea.
Environmental activists believe slag and flue dust to be toxic. Then why has the Industrial Development Bureau authorized their use? It is because they passed a short-term heavy metal leaching test.
Perhaps the dissolution experiment ran for 6 months, but when you dump industrial waste on our land, the effects could last tens of thousands of years.
Is passing lab tests equivalent to being harmless?
Whether industrial waste can be reused, well, in all honesty, it is not that much different from toxic waste to us. We surely don't feel safe with the idea.
The stretch of road in Tainan used slag as its foundation. In no time, the surface has become extremely uneven, posing a serious threat to motorists. Is this the future we want?
In Jordan, Zaatari is a refugee camp located on the border of Jordan and Syria that currently houses over 100,000 Syrians who have fled the ongoing violence in Syria. Under the strict management of the United Nations, many residents in the camp have become dissatisfied with their situation and decided to leave the camp. Recently, Jordan City volunteers discovered several Syrian families have come to live with nearby Bedouins and thus conducted an aid distribution for both groups, helping 46 families in total.
On the border between Jordan and Syria is the Zaatari refugee camp, which currently shelters over 100,000 Syrian refugees. From its growing population of refugees, Zaatari has become Jordan's 4th most populated city. The camp is currently managed by United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, which not only provides food for the camp residents, but restricts their movement as well. Dissatisfied with the situation at the camp, some have decided to leave, Often finding, however, other choices to be just as bad. Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Qiuhua saw firsthand how 5 families are forced to live together in one small apartment in order to afford rent. Those unable to afford rent have chosen to settle with the Bedouin nearby. At a recent aid distribution for the Bedouin, Tzu Chi volunteers decided to take these Syrian refugees under their wing as well. As Tzu Chi volunteers arrive with aid supplies, children are already there full of excitement. Volunteers first hand out vouchers before giving each family rice, cooking oil, and sugar. Although some camp residents call the Zatari camp a prison, others have learned to accept it as their new home. A stone fountain was built as a token of their connection with the camp.
They built this to store water for the beauty. They like it. But it was for them the first symbol that they were starting to stay here.
No matter how reluctant they are, these refugees are learning to make a new home in this adopted land of theirs.
In the Philippines, fires broke out in Manila and Quezon City. Upon receiving the news, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived with rice, blankets, mattresses, and much more. Thanks to this timely assistance, survivors have regained the courage to face the difficult days ahead.
In early April, a fire broke out at Barangay Punta in Manila, affecting 192 households. Knowing that many fled their homes without any belongings, Tzu Chi volunteers arrived with relief items.
They said that the fire started because a candle was accidentally knocked over in one of the buildings. The fire soon spread to nearby houses. I want to say thank you to all the volunteers for helping us. Your kindness reminded us that our society is full of warmth.
Relief items included mattresses, rice, cooking utensils, clean clothes, blankets, and much more. Upon learning that the items are embedded with the love from kind-hearted people everywhere, many survivors happily donated some of their spare change to pay the love forward.
Thank you for helping us. It means a lot.
1, 2, 3, go!
Meanwhile, in Quezon City, a fire broke out in Barangay Valencia, affecting some 130 families. Upon receiving the news, Tzu Chi volunteers quickly arrived at the disaster site with daily necessities.
Nakaramdam po kami ng pag-asa.
The fire left us without hope, but the volunteers understood our situation. They were very kind and provided us with tremendous help.
To settle the survivors' anxious hearts, other than performing a sign-language song, volunteers also prayed with everyone present for a future of peace and harmony.
Today, we meet Malaysia volunteer Wang Zhaoming, whose life transformed for the better since he began attending the morning Dharma study group to watch Master Din Yan's Wisdom at Dawn broadcast. Wang was an ill-tempered troublemaker when young. However, since joining Tzu Chi and diligently following the Dharma, Wang's life has become richer and fuller in the process.
I pick up Brother Zhaoming at about 4:50 each morning. Then we will drive to the Setapak retreat to listen to the Master's morning Dharma lecture.
早安，阿弥陀佛。又一天哦。华喜。
In his 60s, since joining the morning Dharma session at the Setapak Tzu Chi retreat, Wang Zhaoming has never faltered in his commitment.
I've been attending the Morning Sutra study group since last September. These sessions helped uplift our character. I see myself much clearer now and realize my shortcomings. I'm not as oblivious as before in admitting my mistakes.
Brother Zhao has changed a lot since he started to absorb the master's dharma. When he first came here, he looked very intimidating and he was very loud.
很大声，他说话很大声，很大声哦。子弹是从左右哦，这个旁边这边进，然后后面出，所以前后都可以看到很明显的伤痕。
Wang was involved in a gang when young. His ill temper and confrontational behavior often landed him in trouble. Fortunately, he came into contact with Buddhism in midlife and had the opportunity to turn over a new leaf. Now that he is retired, he spends his days studying Buddhist texts and diligently pursuing the Dharma.
These words by Master Zheng Yan impressed me deeply, and that is gratitude, respect, love. It's very true.
Diligently following the Master's Dharma, Wang now realizes the impermanence of life and repents for his past mistakes, and his life has become richer as a result.
Xiluo Produce Market in Taiwan's Yunlin is the nation's produce distribution center. A group of young men make a living here as produce loaders 6 days a week. Instead of using their hard-earned money to party and unwind on their days off, they come together to help renovate the homes of the disadvantaged. Let's now meet the members of the Xing'an Charitable Giving Group.
At the bustling Xiluo Produce Market, everyone is busy as time is money. Loading a truck, these stern-looking young men may look intimidating, but underneath they all have a heart of gold.
Before we helped renovate some homes, we saw several solitary seniors who had nothing to eat. It was quite sad.
All of them are born after 1981. 33-year-old Wang Senyuan is the eldest of the group.
If we can somehow help people, we feel wonderful. That's all. It ain't that complicated. To do something nice requires no reason.
These young men help load trucks at the market 6 days a week. On their day off, which is Sunday, they come together to help solitary seniors renovate their home.
Whenever we finish one project, I feel that we have saved or helped one more person. So whatever is within my means, I shall give completely.
Brought together by the same faith and similar jobs, these young men form the Xing'an Charitable Giving Group, which has found a broad base of support with vendors in the market.
I encourage them to continue with their charity work because to do good deeds is to be wealthy. They're truly wonderful. I support them 100%.
Compassionate giving is one of Taiwan's signature traits. In these young men, one witnessed the love and compassion that makes Taiwan great.
At the end of the show, we take you to the celebration of Tzu Chi's 48th anniversary on the morning of April 23rd, where staff from the Tzu Chi Humanitarian Center and other Tzu Chi volunteers gathered at the Tzu Chi Guandu grounds to connect via a live feed to Master Zheng Yan and the Jingsi abode. Over 1,000 people gathered in earnest to wish the Master's Dharma would spread far and wide to all those in need. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.